Hello again, this is solution to the last question, that's question number 5. Here the idea is to describe, to explore the characteristics of the group of what I call here the worst clients, those having low levels of local calls and low levels of long distance calls. The idea here is to use this to divide local calls and long distance calls in thirds, to divide people according to local calls and long distance calls in thirds, a high level of calls, medium and low level of calls, and then to compare this group of worst customers with the rest. So the first thing we basically need is to be in these two variables, local calls and long distance calls, using visual bin and in using the option of percentiles in this case, creating bins with 33% of people in each. Okay, so we move to, well, in this case it's not about current customers, it's current and past customers. So I'm coming back to my first data set, that is this one, telecom totals backup. Okay, it's not only about current customers but also about closed contracts. Okay, so first of all, let's bin those two variables. I move to transform visual binning. I select both variables. I can select both variables at the same time, long distance calls, local calls. Okay, I click on continue. For the first one, long distance call, I'm going to create a new variable with long dist bin3. Okay, make cut points. I use the option equal percentiles. I need 3 groups, so I need basically 2 cut points. Okay, that's okay. I click apply, make labels. Okay, I need to do the same for local, so I click here on local calls. Okay, I write the name, local bin3. Okay, make cut points. I select again this option, 2 cut points, apply. Okay, make labels, and that's all. I have this first variable created here with this cut points. I have this other option here with this cut points. As you can see, this option here is not maybe the more the most natural option, because maybe it's better if I use this natural groups here, but nevertheless, if I follow the instructions, it's about identifying a third of customers with low level, a third with medium levels, a third with high levels, and the same for long distance. You can see here I have this particular feature here, this particular characteristics that let's say that in a real exercise I need to take into account that there are lots of people without long distance call, and but nevertheless, if I once again follow the instructions, this group is as among the third of people with low levels of long distance call. This is a group here in the middle, and a group with high levels of calls. Okay, so I simply click OK, and I have my 2 new variables. Okay, here I have my two new variables, and basically the worst I will change here. Instead of labels, I want to go. Okay, the worst group of customers is this one, people having 1 and having a 1 here. So basically the idea is to compare this group, this specific group, with the rest. I have 1, 2, 3 values here. I have also 1, 2, 3 values here. So that means that I have 3 times 3 equal 9 groups to compare. I'm interested in this one. What I'm going to show you is how to use SPSS to compare group with other groups. Let's say. So, for example, let's see age differences. Okay, let's compare age. For this, the best option maybe is to use a custom table. So once again, I move to analyze, like in the first or the second question, I don't remember, and I use this custom tables. Okay, receive. Okay, sorry. And now, the idea is to see inside the table. I want to see the age mean, for example, for the 9 groups, and those 9 groups are formed using these 2 variables here. So local calls, for example, as rows, long distance calls as columns, and inside the age. Okay, very good. So if I click OK, I see exactly what I intended to. I see a table with these 9 groups. You see these 9 values here, and the worst group of customers is this one, people with low levels of long distance call and low levels of local call, so they are 45. Basically, it's the same value as for the rest. So the idea is that I cannot see huge differences in terms of age. For example, I mean, this exercise, the most interesting part is about the procedure and not the result itself. Okay, if I want to compare for a categorical variable, not on a scale variable such as age, maybe a good option is once again to use this chart builder and to use this option of groups point ID. So, for example, if I want to compare a gender, I can ask for a kind of pie graph, as I did in the previous exercise, select sex, and then in this groups point ID rows and columns panel variables, I basically select the two bin variables I've already created. For example, long distance call as columns, yeah, for why not, and local calls as rows, for example. Okay. When I click OK, I can easily compare the distribution of gender, this worst group of customers, with the rest. Well, it's difficult to see any particular interesting feature here in terms of gender. Well, I see more or less half and half, like for example in this in the opposite group of the best customers. So once again, it would be very difficult to find out something of interest. It's exploring this nine pie charts, but nevertheless, I'm interested in showing you how to use SPSS when it's about easily comparing characteristics. Okay. And well, I think I can also compare in terms of marital status, for example, or the demographical variables, but basically the procedure is more or less the same. Thank you.